Welcome to the Stronger, Fitter, Happier podcast. I'm your host Vin, and today I am going to be recording another solo episode. And on this solo episode, what we're going to be talking about is the power of routine. So, if you're someone who's a bit sporadic, you struggle to kind of like take action, whether it's with training, whether it's with nutrition, whether it's with other areas of your life, today's episode is not one you want to miss. Because I explain how you can use routine to basically take action on all your goals and achieve them and get really good results with whatever area of life you're trying to get results in. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. So the reason why I'm talking about this topic is because yesterday my partner called me a bit of a maniac. She didn't actually use those words. She said, so the reason why I'm talking about this topic is because of something my partner said to me yesterday. So we had a bit of a crazy night with our little ones. So if you don't know, I have a young baby who's just turned 4 months old, and she was up a lot at night. She was giving us a bit of stick and would not go down to sleep. She basically just wanted to stay asleep in our arms. So we were up a lot. And I, in the morning, must have said something about working out. I can't remember what I said. I think I said, I've got to get a workout in. I'm going to train in a bit. And she went, how can you even think about training right now? It's crazy. Like, she said, how can you even think about it? She was just way too tired to do anything like that. And my reply was, I think these are the exact words I said. So I said, I don't want to work out. I'm doing it because I have to. And it kind of got me thinking about today's episode. So today's episode is all about the power of routine, as I told you in the intro. Yeah, and the reason I'm talking about the power of routine is because if I had a bit of a better routine at the moment, especially when it comes to training, I wouldn't have to be forcing myself to work out like I was yesterday. So before this pandemic, I used to be in the gym at least 4 days out of the week in terms of like training other people. So I would be training people, and because I'm in the environment, it's very easy to, just train after and then go home. So once I've done like training people, I will, go straight into the gym, into my workout, and then go home. And that was my routine. So I had like a bit of a schedule where I would go into the gym on a Monday or a Friday or whatever. So I knew that I'd be training on those days. And on the days that I didn't train at the gym, what I would do is go to the gym near my house to work out. And I had a routine of it then as well. So what I would do is drop my daughter to nursery and go after that, or go on the way to before like picking her up, because it's en route. And that was my routine, and I'd easily managed to get 4 to 5 workouts in a week. Now, however, with this whole pandemic and my routine being thrown out the window, I struggle to get in at like 2 or 3. I'll be lucky to get 3 workouts in. And I'm training at home mostly, especially with, gyms closing, then opening, and then closing, and things like that. Like, I've just been training at home mostly. So the workouts are even different in that way. So it's harder to motivate yourself to work out because you're not leaving the house. So I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling the same way, and they're struggling to kind of find a routine with training. And if it's not with training, then you can use the advice I'm going to give you in this episode for whatever you want to take it towards. But for me, I'm talking about training. So most people, what they do is they rely on willpower when it comes to working out. Like they exercise willpower is what I'm trying to get to exercise. So they'll, do things like force themselves like I did over the weekend, or push themselves to like kind of do something. And eventually that willpower runs out. Like it's not infinite. Nobody runs on infinite willpower. Eventually that gas tank of willpower will run dry if you keep using it. So you need to use willpower on the days that you need it the most. But for the other days, you need to have some sort of routine in place that just allows you to do the things you need to without having to think about it much. So my example of, like when I used to train in the gym, train other people in the gym, I would train straight after. There was no thinking about it. There was no second guessing myself. I didn't have to force myself to get in a car, to change or anything like that. The most I had to do was change and then start my warm up. So there's not much like kind of willpower involved in that. I'd schedule it in. I'd always make sure that if let's say I'm working till like 12 o'clock in the afternoon and I start at 6 in the morning, I'll, say to my partner, I'll be home at 1:30 because I know I'm going to train and then come home. I wouldn't just, say I'm working till 12. So it's very easy for me to fit it in. Now, however, with the routine gone, it's like you just kind of catch the moments of when you're free. And that is fine. But the problem is you then have to motivate yourself to actually do it when the time is free. So if like today, for example, I've got lots of work things to do, but I'm going to try and fit in a workout somewhere when I'm free. But when I have that time free, I'm going to have to use willpower to do it. And if I keep doing that every day this week, there will be days where I'm going to go, do you know what? Today I can't be asked. There's other things I need to do. And it's not out of laziness. It's not because I don't want to work out. I like working out. It's just when you fall out of a habit, it's very hard to get back into that habit. And also, it's, training is a bit of a nuisance. You have to, get changed. You have to get sweaty. You have to shower after. You have to work hard in the workout. You have to do all these things. So it's not immediate pleasure. You get the pleasure later in terms of like you get the reward of the workout, obviously over a long period of time. And also you get the reward of the good feeling at the end, not when you start, and definitely not before you start. So it's very hard to kind of get started for most people anyway. So like people often look at people who train regularly as like they're really disciplined. They're people who have lots and lots of discipline, and they do. I used to be someone who I went 4 years without, I think it was, not missing a workout, even on holiday. Even when I was sick, I would get my workouts in. And that was, you could say I was disciplined, but I think discipline is like a muscle. You have to train it to become stronger. So once you build a habit of a good run of few days, or more than a few days, you start to become more disciplined. And you don't want to break the habit and the routine that you've built in place. So it's not that like these people who are regular with something or do something regularly, or are very militant with that kind of regime they're in. They're not disciplined like that. It's not an innate thing. It's something they've learned to be. And I think anyone can build that discipline if you can build a routine. And this is why I'm talking about the power of routine and why it's so important. Because otherwise what you end up doing is having to make lots and lots of decisions rather than rely on your routine. And what I mean by that is, take food and eating, for example. If you don't have a meal plan in place in terms of like what you're going to be making for the week, all you have to do is when it comes to dinner time, lunchtime, breakfast, whatever, you have to make a decision. You're going to go, oh, what do I want to eat? And if you're in a family and you have a partner and you're making for other people, not just for yourself, then it's even harder because you have to ask them, what do you want to eat? And you guys have to discuss it, and you know how that goes. It takes ages to decide on something. And there's an element of decision fatigue. So rather than making something healthy, like you may have intentions of in the morning, when it comes to dinner time, you're fatigued in your decision making, and you may just go for the easy option of a takeaway. And the same thing happens with like workouts and other things that you are relying on willpower and decisions to make, and relying on like that kind of those decisions that you have to make. So the best thing to do is build some sort of habits and routine in place. And what I mean by that is like, take for example a morning routine. A morning routine is a great way of getting in a workout or anything. So like, you wake up, you brush your teeth, and you may then have a routine of like having a particular breakfast, and then you're immediately out of the door to go to the gym before you go to work. But to make that even easier, if you have a routine in the evening of getting your gym clothes ready, having your breakfast prepared, whether it's chopped or like bowls are out, spoons out, all these little things that you've done in routine from the day before and then today will make it easier for you to go to the gym. So let's say the night before, you packed your gym kit, you had your workout ready in terms of you know what you're going to be doing, you've got a plan in place, and you had your gym kit out and your trainers by the door, so you need to put them on and go. And you had your breakfast ready as well. In the morning, when it comes to getting up, all you have to do is do what you planned for. Not think about, I need to go make this smoothie that I'm going to make in the morning. I need to then pack my gym bag and the clothes I need to wear to work. I need to find my gym trainers. I need to think about what I'm going to do when I get to the gym. You've already built that into your routine, and all you need to do is execute. You just need to tick the boxes of what you planned on doing. And this is why, it's such having such routine in place is so powerful. And it's not, you see a lot of people that you think are excellent, like they excel and they kind of really go far in life and they're doing really well for themselves, and they're disciplined, they're in shape, they eat well, they have like a really good structure, and in their day, and they find that they're doing really well in their career. They're often the people who they don't have really good discipline. They've built a routine that allows them to be disciplined. So if you're able to steal their routine, you'd be able to maybe not steal their routine, but steal some of their like habits that they have in place and do the same thing. You'll also then find that you're also in a really good routine, building really good habits. So how do you build habits and structure? What I would say is structure your day in a logical order. And what I mean by that is go about your day in like a logical order. Like literally, what do you do in the morning? How can you make that easier? What do you do in the afternoon? What do you do in the evening? And so on. And build a routine around that. And be just very logical about it. So if in the morning you wake up and you go brush your teeth, how can you make that easier? The night before, can you get your toothpaste ready? And I know that sounds tedious, but it can save you minutes in the day, and that minute can be added to your workout or to, planning your food on your phone. You can use that minute somewhere else in the day. And that's literally what I mean. Go about your day, look at where you can save time, where you can make things a little bit less kind of stressful for you. For like something big could be like getting ready in the morning. If you plan the clothes you're going to wear the night before, you save a lot of time for yourself. If you normally make breakfast in the morning, could you make it the night before? Could you do something like overnight oats instead of a cereal? Or like overnight oats instead of porridge first thing in the morning? That way, you save time, and it's a lot more of a speedier process. There's less thinking involved. There's less kind of less kind of decisions to make. So for example, I like to have a coffee in the morning. So what I do, rather than having a hot coffee that I have to make in the morning, I'll make a cold coffee, leave it in the fridge the night before. I add a scoop of protein to my coffee. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but that's what I do. Shake it up, and that's my kind of protein cold coffee. It's like a chocolate iced coffee, and it works really well for me. That's how I have my breakfast. Quick, easy way. It's a lot faster than making a coffee, even though that's not that long. It's just very easy to down rather than downing a hot drink, if that makes sense. And that's how I do it. And a great way that, like, another example of like, rather than just building a routine of a structure like that and logical order, is sometimes people like find it hard to keep to the new routine that they've done. So like in the first lockdown, when all this coronavirus stuff happened, my routine went out the window with working out, and I really struggled to get my workouts in. It would get later in the day, I'd start my work, and being a workaholic, like I'd stick to the laptop, and then it's like afternoon and I'm like, oh, I need to train now. And then I'd want to be with my children, it was child at the time, and my partner. So, the workouts would just get delayed, and then it's dinner time and I got to make dinner and all sorts of stuff. I'm rambling, but you get the point. So what I started doing was I read a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. It's a great book for anyone who's struggling to build a routine. This is the book you need to listen to. Or that's what I do, audiobooks. But you can read it as well. So check that out. I've lost what I was going to say. No, I haven't. I'm back. So what I did was I did something that he recommends called habit stacking, where you stack one habit at the end of another habit that you already do. So let's say I'm trying to start working out as a regular thing. Cold coffee in the morning was something I did religiously, without fail. So it's something that already is a habit that's ingrained. All I did was, my new habit was that once I have the coffee, as soon as I've finished it, I have to start stretching. So what I would do, I'd always get up in the morning in terms of like, I'd have my workout clothes on. I'd get them ready the night before. So when I'm having my cold coffee, as soon as I finish, I start my stretch, which is my warm up for my workouts. So I'd start that off, and more like about 9 times out of 10, I would finish the workout because I've started warming up. Sometimes I just did the warm up, but I got into the workout. It'd been started, so I'd already got into my head that I need to finish it at some point. So that was a really good way of me building some sort of routine to get workouts in to my day and build a new routine. And you could do the same thing. So let's say if you're, for example, you're trying to build a habit and routine around nutrition, and you want to track your food intake, your calorie intake, and you want to use an app like MyFitnessPal. So in the morning or in the evening, before you, let's say, watch TV or you do something that you always do every day, that is your cue. Before you do it, like let's say you sit down to watch TV in the evening, your new routine is, before you do that, you have to enter your food for tomorrow into MyFitnessPal so you can track it and record it and plan ahead. Something like that. Something simple as that. You could do it with meditation. You could do it with whatever you want the new habit to be. Stack it on top of the old habit. And that's a really good way of building a new routine. And then it becomes the new routine, and you can add something new in once that becomes an ingrained habit. So habit stacking. Another great way is having set days. So for example, working out is not something you do every day unless you want to. But for most people, it may be anywhere from like 2 to 5 times a week. And obviously building some sort of routine around that can be difficult if you're doing it in a habit stacking way. So what you should do is try and build a routine in terms of like setting yourself a day and scheduling it like a non-negotiable task. So with workouts, for example, what you could do is say Monday mornings at 9 o'clock, I have to work out. Schedule it in as if it's a meeting. You would never skimp on work. Like if you know you have to be at work at 9 o'clock, why do you always turn up on time? Because it's a non-negotiable task. There's repercussions of not turning up. You could get fired. You could, there's major repercussions of not turning up and doing what you should be. And you need to see the new habit that you're trying to build in the same way. There needs to be some sort of accountability for yourself. So whether it's going to see somebody else, and you're building a routine in that way, or whether it's kind of holding yourself accountable and doing it in your schedule and your calendar, that sort of thing. Having accountability and, having scheduled and set days is a great way to go about it. And just having that mindset of like, this is a non-negotiable task will help you build like that kind of routine as well. And the other great way, I've already spoke about it, but another great thing with routines is that building them, sticking to them, just, really force yourself at the start to stick to them. You will have to depend on willpower. It will be tough. It will be difficult. But what is great is having like a visual checklist. So Nikhil spoke about this on the podcast before, about, like having a calendar where you literally tick off the days. And when you see that you've got like a good run of days going across, you're more likely to go, I don't want to fail on this. I've got a good streak going. I don't want to end it. And that's a really good way of like staying on top of it. But eventually what happens is at the start, for the first week is really, really difficult and you have to force yourself and you have to like kick your ass out of bed or whatever. Eventually it becomes a lot easier and it becomes something that is just second nature to you. And you are the one that is disciplined and you are the one that people are looking at. How do you, do this? How do you train so regularly? How do you not miss workouts? How do you not, how do you do this level of excellence in your life in whatever area of your life you've built it in? And you'll be able to say it was hard at the start, but it's just routine now. It's something that I built into my life. It's a system. It's a structure in place. And I don't even need to think about it. It's just second nature to me. And that's literally how you become successful in any area of your life. Build it into your routine, make it a system, make it something that's automated and not something you have to depend on and think about and exercise willpower to do. So I think I've maybe not talked this topic to death because, there's so many things that I could probably go about and give you more tips on. But that's what I've got for you for today. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it, there's some actionable things for you to take away. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this. So let us know. Get in touch. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, then leave us a message in the me on this episode. Leave me a message in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you're listening to this on any podcast platform, wherever it is, please leave us a review. And if there's anything you'd like me to talk about on the next episode or future episodes, then hit us up on podcast@bodybeyond.co.uk. And I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Take care. Over and out.